Good evening, everybody. We're here in the Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan. I'm here with Mr. Albert Hashweh, the Vice President of the Hashweh Corporation. And Albert, you're in charge of Vision Tours. Our companies have worked together for many years, and we've been a great privilege to be part of what's happening here, what God's doing here in this land and with the believers around the world. Albert, the Kingdom of Jordan is predominantly a Muslim country, and yet you're a born-again Christian believer. Tell us, what was it like to grow up in a country that's predominantly Muslim?
Thanks, Will, for this opportunity to share with our viewers there. Growing in Jordan is a privilege, I think, compared to many other countries that are predominantly Muslim. In Jordan, it's 97% Sunni Muslim. And the government have been really tolerant with having both religions coexisting together. They always promote having peace in this area, as we do, of course, internationally as well with our neighbors, of course, Israel. It really starts with King Hussein, who was the father of the current king, King Abdullah. He kind of planted this seed of peace in the hearts of everybody. But it doesn't mean that it's that easy. We know about other countries, perhaps in the Near or a bit further away, that living in such a country with that kind of governed when everything is covered by the umbrella of Islam, it's not that easy. I say it's a great thing that we're living here because things are easier. We know that other countries, they're not as simple. So growing in this country has been a bit of a different experience, I'm sure. I had the chance to be in a Christian school, so perhaps did not take the full impact, but later on in life, when we grew up to go to higher school or university, you get a bit more interaction there. Yeah. When it comes to borders, or when it comes to the areas you're allowed to explore or expand in, it becomes a bit more limited. There's an invisible line or a room that you're in that you cannot really go outside of with some limitation.
Boundaries.
It's boundaries everywhere. Some people call it persecution. It's a mixture of both, I think. But the Lord's been just wonderful for us for all the years. It just makes me know and remember that we have a lot of things to do and less time to do it. So having that kind of a background and incorporating with what we do today, with Vision Tours, we help and organize tour groups, pilgrim tour groups to Jordan with the help of friends like you all around the world. And we help them to come to Jordan, to Israel, to the Middle East, to the Holy Land, to experience and to visit the places that they've read about in the Bible. Now, the Bible does not have pictures, but we have them here. So it's time for people to come and see. And what's more important about that is that our work is more than a business. It's creating and reminding the people of their true faith and relinking, enhancing their faith when they visit these holy places, walking where Jesus walked, seeing the important biblical sites that we've read about for many years. It gives them a new start. And this is what we focused on in Vision.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the boundaries you talk about, they're physical boundaries, they're borders, border crossings, but as we both know that during the time of Jesus, there weren't border crossings and visas, and the prophets, the kings, the Messiah freely walked these lands, and they're all a vital part of what happened and played out through the scriptures.
There's a lot to see. Maybe people are here for just a few days, but we know there's a lot of people who repeatedly come back.
Also, you're actively involved in the local church, and I know personally when I've come with groups, and I know I've heard from a lot of leaders that you've hosted them after they've gone out for dinner to go back and you share with our groups the vision of your church here. Can you share with us a little bit about the work that's happening?
Of course. To me, this is the highlight of what we do. People go perhaps or watch the TV about our part of the world and they say, why am I going there? Sometimes it's scary. Sometimes you watch the news and it stops us from wanting to do that. But the reality is well, you've been here
Very
so many
safe.
times.
It's so welcome.
It's very safe. I've lived here for all my life. There's no place like home, as
Yeah.
I say, and I wouldn't change it for another. But the highlight really of what we do is not just showing these wonderful places, but having these people come and visit where we worship. And hopefully the time would match that we go to church together, that a local meeting is running, then they worship together, see what local people are doing. We show them around the different ministries that we have in church, the clinic, the school that we have there,
the outreach programs,
the different things, the ways with the tools that we use to reach people who are in need. We call it our fishing bay because there's also not a lot of fish swimming around in Jordan, but
those
the Bible tells us we have to go and fish for people.
Fishes,
and this is our fishing bay. We reach people through different ways. Through my ministry, for instance, on the side, I do the audio engineering for the church. And I'm their sound engineer. Me and my wife, we produce worship music for the youth through the high-end recording facility that we have at the church, and through that reach for those who are in need. It's difficult for those who want to convert, they want to come to know the Lord, but their surroundings and those borders that we talked about, they are really preventing them from doing so. So it's a hard, I'm not saying it's easy, it's very hard for those to reach. So as we're reaching also people coming as visitors, we're also reaching the people who are local. And as you know from the news, for instance, we have currently about 500 million Syrian refugees. They're camping on the border. What are we doing with that? So the ministry in the church, through different entities, they're reaching for these people, humanitarian work, helping them in ways they need. It's very primitive way that they're living at the moment. Hopefully the peace will be restored soon. But we know, there will never be real peace until the Lord comes. So that's our prayer. And by the looks of things, He's coming soon.
Yes. So I guess you've been in this business how long now, Albert?
The company's been here for around 52 years.
It was founded by your father?
It's founded by my father. It's a family business now. I myself have been here for 17 years, almost.
And so you've literally hosted thousands and thousands, probably tens of thousands, possibly hundreds?
I guess, not hundreds, hopefully almost there with the help of you.
Yes, so during that time you must have had the chance to sit down and hear testimonies of people that maybe come for the first time or have come again, and how the Lord has really touched their heart and opened their eyes. Could you share with us maybe one or two of those stories?
There are so many, and I know we're limited with time, but I'll share a couple with you. It's a trip like no other. And
it's not a tourist destination.
It's not a tourist destination. We know for a fact, and I'll share with you this story, that people came from abroad and just decided to live here. That simple as that. One of which is a dear friend of mine. She's Australian. She's been here for 54 years now. And she's heading a clinic up in the north of Jordan, who's actually part of the Samaritan's Purse Ministries.
Okay.
And she's Australian, and she's living here all her life. There's no place like Jordan. And for people who have been here, they come back all the time. Churches, congregation leaders, university students that come here. It's like a trip no other. There are different destinations. If you want to go on a fun trip or see the trip, you expect to enjoy the time, come back with the nice photos, maybe a couple of items, shopping, and come back, that's finished, where shall we go next year?
Yes.
That's the regular. We're not here to sell that. Yes, all of these come along with these nice places, but what's more important is the purpose of that. It's an experience, it's not a visit, or you're not a tourist anymore, you're on a mission.
I know exactly
that's what
what
it
you
is.
mean.
It's a life. When they say a life-changing experience, this literally actually means.
Yes. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to share
You're
with us
welcome.
today. And we joined together to invite all of you to come and experience for yourselves firsthand the beauty and the wonder that is the Hashweh Kingdom of Jordan, to come and see the land of the Bible.
Remember us in your prayers. We need it all.